Oh, we have the best music on this show. These intros that I make, of course, I'm going to say that. But welcome to the Debsterism channel. Today is our third Thursday show. And on this day, what we do is take live questions and I answer them live. So no writing in, no trying to hope that your letter gets picked by that evil ass cousin of mine, Candace. She's a trip. No hoping of that. I mean, this is for real. This is what we do on the third Thursday of each month. You will, this is the process. Let me pull this up so everybody can see it. These are the instructions. You pay the $10 super chat through YouTube or preferably the CashApp fee, which you can use on any of the other platforms. I've remembered to bring my phone today so I can verify that you've done what you need to do. Now, once you've done that, you will let us know that you're ready. So either I or the moderator or one of the guests actually are good about pointing out too that I missed something. So ideally, you would have your letter prepared in a document that you can cut and paste, because a lot of you don't type very quickly and you waste a lot of show time. We sit there while you hunt and pack. So type your letter out in the little Word document or WordPad, something, so that you can just cut and paste it. And then the next thing you do, when they acknowledge you, you just paste it into the chat stream, or you can call in. And I'm going to give you the number that you can just click this and you're on your phone or your tablet or whatever you're using, computer headset, and it's like a voice activated phone. It's a VoIP line. So it's a computerized system. So it's not like a telephone, but you will be talking on a line and your question can be answered and asked live right on the show. So that's how this works. Okay. So let me get back over here to the comment section. Oh, it's Shay. You hope you get some juicy questions. I think everybody hopes that. But I always have some to start off with, some that came into the advice column and weren't picked for one reason or another, or, it just would have been too many, because I'm not doing any more of them 30, 32 question shows. We're not going to do that. We're just going to do 25 max. Maybe if most of them are short, I can squeeze in 26. But I like to be on and off within, like 2 hours at the most. So we do this show so that everybody who wants to get an opportunity to ask their question and get an answer, like something's coming up this weekend, you don't know what to do, you need an answer right now. You can't wait for Tuesday because it'll be too late then. This is what you do. So get your questions ready. I'm going to start with the stuff that I already have. Now, keep in mind, if I get through all, I think these are 10 questions. Mm-hmm. 10 questions. How many? 11 questions. Okay. If I make it through these 11 questions and ain't nobody asked no question, then I am going to do out. Boop. So it'll be like 2 advice shows in one day, like back to back. Who does that?
Okay, let's look at question number one. This guy's saying, my girlfriend is 23 and I'm 21, and she gave me $5,000, and I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. She has a really good job and makes far more money than I do. While I wouldn't say I struggle, I live frugally and manage to save a small amount of money each month. But recently she got a good bonus from her job and she zelled me 5 grand. Well, she must have got a really good bonus. While I'm absolutely touched that she thought of me when she got the bonus and I'm grateful for the money, part of me is also sort of uncomfortable with receiving such a large amount of money. And I don't know why. It doesn't make me feel poor, and I don't think it's her being condescending. It just feels like something I just can't casually accept. Do you know what I'm talking about? Should I refuse this gift or not spend it? What should I do? You should put it in your bank account and save it, sir. She's extremely thoughtful. I wouldn't have gave your ass nothing because I don't give men money. But the fact that she got like a drop from heaven or whatever they want to call it, and she decided to share it with you, you should feel blessed because obviously she really cares about you. But your smart thing to do would be like if there's something you really need and you've been saving up for it or something, well, now you can just go ahead and get it. But the rest of the money you should put into your savings account for a rainy day. When else would you get to put a lump sum like that into your bank account for your future? So do that. And then you don't have to worry about should you spend it and all that. But like I said, first, do you need anything? I mean, really need like shoes, new your underwear holy. You need new toothbrush. Your couch is the springs is sprung in it or something. You need to get a new couch for your apartment to make it more comfortable when your girl comes over. Maybe you could use some pots and pans because you got some hobnob stuff that you got from Goodwill or something. I mean, think about what you could do to make your environment more comfortable, or your feet more something, and do that. Do need to go to the dentist? You know what? I mean, think of what you could use it for that's practical. And once you do that, put all the rest in the bank and save it. Okay, that's all you have to do. She's giving it to you out of love, not with no kind of obligation. And she yelled it to you so that you don't have to be like, that experience where she's trying to give it to you in your hand and you're like, no, 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 don't do that. I can't accept your money. Oh my God. I just feel so uncomfortable. I'm gonna make a video about that. I decided because I'm just tired of people using that word. I just don't know. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. But in this case, it might apply. Okay. So try that. Try that. Yes, honey, I'm telling you. Dude, come on now. So when you get to my age, you say $5,000, that ain't shit. I can spend that in 10 minutes. Now they talk about 25,000, 30,000. Well, I might be like, oh, I can do something with that. Thank you. I don't know. So anyway, let me paste this in here because I think I forgot to do it. If you decide you want to call your question in because your question is too involved and it's too long and you don't type very fast, then that is what you do. You click that link as long as you have your headset on or you on your phone. You're not going to join with your photo. You're just going to be on the, for this voice call. Just so you know, you don't have to worry about being on camera because you're not going to be. It's just going to be your voice. You don't have to use your name or any personal identifying information. You just ask the question, and then I will give you an answer based on what your question is. And I've been doing this for many, 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 many years, decades, as a matter of fact. So I can usually come up with a pretty good answer. Anything that I might overlook or forget, they got you in the chat. Okay. This is my crew. They've been around for a long time. Some of them months and months, and some of them for years. So they know how I think. And they say, well, Deb, you forgot such and such a. And I'll be like, oh, yeah, I sure did, huh? And so, they got, so anyway, between all of us, we got you. So don't worry about it. But that's the link to click if you want to call your question in. Okay. You don't want to type it. That's the other option. All right. Let's move on to number two. Number two of, how many did I say? Hold on. Let me just verify. Let me verify. Oh, I actually have 12 questions. Okay. This is number 2 of 12. I'm 30 and I was invited to a baby shower and I don't know if I should go. The fact that you have to think about it, girlfriend, that usually means don't waste your money. I was invited to an old friend's baby shower by her mom. She's 34. We were very close in university, but we lost touch after, both due to us moving away from each other. It's been more than 5 years. I found out she was pregnant on Facebook and reached out to offer her some of my unused baby items. She agreed and asked if I could drop them off at her parents' house. When I went to drop them off, her mother invited me to her baby shower, and I received a formal invitation shortly thereafter. I feel conflicted on if I should even go. We're not close anymore and do not speak on a regular basis. I feel like baby showers are for close friends and family, and I'm neither one. I was only invited because her mom saw me, otherwise, I would have not have been included anyway. I'm looking for some advice on what should I do. Just decline. What's the problem? Girl, let me tell you about these baby shower. Okay, Deb don't do baby mama baby showers. Anybody send me if they talk about they gonna have a big they have these big old fancy things because they ain't having no wedding. So they have these over the top baby showers and sitting up there with that giant ass belly and sitting up there with some raggedy baby daddy or no man in sight because he already done flew the coop before she even delivers. But they having this fancy baby shower. I can't do that. I'm not gonna go and celebrate stupidity. Okay, even if you got some money and stuff, now what's the kid supposed to do about his daddy? He's born to some sucker that don't even want him. That's kind of messed up the way they're coming into the world, don't you think? So yeah, I don't go to the baby shower. I'm not giving you no present. I don't care. You want to have a baby with that raggedy food, and you and that raggedy food figure it out. You make it happen all by yourself without my money. I'm not going. Plus, I'm scared of showers these days. So I told you about they be feeding you the watercress sandwiches. Looking like pond scum between two pieces of bread. So let's move on. This is question number 3 of 12. Y'all better have some questions. You type your question in the chat or you can call in. There's a link. Oh, the link done already scrolled up. Or here's the link to call your question in if you would rather do that. Mm-hmm. Shay don't go to baby showers neither. People showed me some that was like from Louisiana. Some of these people, I mean, it was like a Mardi Gras parade. It just was so much stuff going on. It just looked ridiculous. And that was a baby shower. And I'm thinking, man, shouldn't you spend that money on, like, invested in a bank account so your kid can go to college? Or you could put your child in an academy if they start falling behind. Shouldn't you save that money for something sensible like that versus blowing it all thousands of dollars on a baby shower? That makes no sense to me. I just don't get that. So let us proceed. So number 3. So I'm 40 and I hate my wife more and more. Okay. Okay. Okay, dude. How do you live with somebody who makes excuses and everything that happens to them and never bring any solutions to the table? You know, this must be a brother because he's talking about a table. My wife is mad that my kids, they're 12 and 13, listen to me with way more ease. I always took a lead by example approach to 85% of things, and I don't waste threats such as taking away iPads and stuff. I use it once a year and I follow through, and he put that in caps. I always feel constant threats of if loses effectiveness over time. While her style was, I am the mom, do exactly as I say, every style has pros and cons, but I believe a household doesn't necessarily need yelling every hour of the day. She is spiraling and being mean. She's turning into someone that would slap you, but bring you flowers and cook dinner for you later. She is also annoyed that I have been working on myself with minimum impact family, financial, or time commitment. I have been working out, so I don't want to take out or eat junk food. She gets annoyed that I'm watching what I eat. I was 70 pounds overweight, for Christ's sakes. I'm going back to school through scholarships, not loans that can affect us. I don't spend money on the gym, just body weight and walking. My goal was to not use a dime of our family money so she doesn't say I'm selfish. I rebuilt relationship with my family as well. She has also always been in conflict with her family, people at her job, etc. She says no one listens to her. In hindsight, she was wanted to be a boss at her job. Good thing she didn't because she operates under titles, do as I say type. It looks like depression, but as I understand it, it's mostly the individual to get themselves out of that. She starts smoking cigarettes as well. Just a big no for me. Okay, well, I'm not really hearing a question here, but it sounds like you two, you may be outgrowing her. You've been doing a lot of introspective work and thinking hard about how to make your goals happen without impacting your wife and children. So that's very admirable because a lot of men just don't give a flying, you know what. They can just take all the money and just all kind of bad stuff be going on, but you're not doing that. So that's great. That's positive. That's what you're supposed to do when you're responsible for a woman and some little kids. So I'm not having a problem with what's going on with you, and I'm wondering, yeah, depression could be part of it. It could also be, let's see, how old did you say she was? Hold on a second. She's 38, and you're 40. I don't know. She could be starting perimenopause, so her hormones are shooting around. I'm not saying that's an excuse. I'm saying it is a medical fact that that's what happens, and it kind of puts some women into a tailspin. Not some just weather it without really any problem, and others need hormones pills to level them out so they can maintain an even keel as they complete the menopause process. Um, but it just sounds like she's not a good communicator. Has she ever considered therapy? They have like the therapy to teach her how to talk to people, not the kind where she gets into this shrink, like all into your early childhood and all that kind of stuff. Although that could be the source of it. I don't know. But, since she's an adult, I think she should just start from the top. Like, why do you choose to communicate with people the way that you do? What is it what have the benefit that you perceive that you will get from yelling and screaming at your kids all the time? Threatening but not following through. How do you feel that that builds respect? Stuff like that. She needs that kind of, those kind of conversations, and they probably can't come from you. Poor lady, she's so confused. And yeah, she sees you looking good. She feeling all threatened and insecure and stuff, thinking somebody want her mane. While her mane over there doing push-ups and pull-ups and getting a V in his back and whatnot. She getting upset. You could invite her to join you. You could say, well, honey, let's go for a walk together and use that time to talk and touch base and bond or whatever. You could suggest that too as the weather gets better. Just a thought. Oh, check my Cash App. Okay. Oops, it closed because I didn't touch it. Hold on. I just felt it vibrate. So whatever happened, it just came through. Shit, where is it? Okay, let me just go down here. Hold on. There we go. As long as I've had this Cash App account, I still don't know how to use it. How you find what somebody's sent something? Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay. Sliver, you have a question. Did you already type it? Did I miss it? Oh shoot. Sorry. Let me scroll up. Oh, here we go. Okay, let me address you. Hidden red flag number 1. I love to build an emotional connection before getting intimate. Hidden red flag number 2. I've never really built and been a butt man. Fast forward to our first time with heavy petting. He said that to you? I've never been a butt man. I touch the package and keep trying to feel more. What would you do if you got involved with a man who wound up having a small package? I would. Okay, first of all, let us qualify that. Oh, wait, she has some more. Does size really matter? He's awesome, man. I'd like this to work out. Well, let me just put it this way. There is no one size that fits all. Women's bodies are built so different, and what is a good fit for one woman might be too small for another or too big. So that's a strictly individual thing. So it's going to be a situation as is it too big or too small for you? And I always, people say, no, that's not true. Go to a gyno and look on that tray that they have all the speculums when they're going to do your pap smear and stuff, the different lengths and widths of those things. Please explain to me why they have those if women's lower regions don't come in a wide variety of sizes. And it has nothing to do with the size of the woman, how tall she is, how heavy she is, how old she is, her ethnicity. That's not it. I don't know what it is, but I'm just telling you, it varies greatly from woman to woman. Then you get into it, man, she might have a tipped uterus or something. That happens a lot too. So they have to use a shorter speculum so that they don't like half kill you and stuff. So I mean, there's so many medical things that have to do with that area of the body that you can't really just say that it's quote too small, just feeling like that. You have to know your body, and is it too small for what you working with? Well, then you could say, you would make that assessment. I can't make that because I know some women, they like them giant King Kong looking dudes, that's kind of size. And I'm like, nah, you ain't killing me. You that's no, no, no. So, that it all varies. So, but what I'm going to say is if you know, what works for you, and that what he's got is not necessarily going to make that the magic happen, then you have a choice to make. I mean, does he have skills in other areas? Sometimes guys can compensate for their lack of inches or girth or whatever in other ways. They have other talents. So you have to make that determination. I can't make that for you. Everybody likes something different. I have learned that women like different things. So, some of the stuff some women like, I'll be like, oh, hell no, we not, no, another no. But, they happy. So I know this sounds like I'm not really answering, but I just want you to understand that this is such an individual thing. There's so much variety in size and girth and stuff that women can accept and that works for them and their individual body. So you have to determine it. Now, if I found somebody who I thought was just way too little for me, and even in his excited state, it wasn't really up to snuff, I'd have to leave homeboy alone because I don't like to be disappointed and frustrated like that. That don't work for me. So I just have to be. We could be friends. We could be buds. We could hang out here and there, rip and run the streets, go to clubs, and do whatever. But one thing we not gonna be is a couple. That ain't gonna happen. Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, girl. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Should have you walking all bow-legged and stuff. No, thank you. I'm not about that life. Uh, yeah. So that's what I think. Let me see. She got another question here. Oh yes, definitely. Most definitely. You don't really think about. I mean, when I was younger, I didn't really think about that much. But I'm telling you, that's how my husband got me. I will admit it, because dude could put it down. Okay, down, 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 and he didn't really look like it. I mean, yeah, I guess he did. He had all the moves. Like I said, I'm a firm believer. If a dude can't dance, he can't screw. And if he eats all dainty and shit, like the dude we talked about last night, where he's want to be skinny and he's all, don't eat that. And I don't eat carbs. And, dudes who are like that. No, I'd rather he be a little bit, rounded. I'm not saying he got to have the belly of life, but I'd rather he be a little rounded, have a little extra meat on him than be skinny. I don't like skinny dudes. That don't even look right to me. Man and skinny don't belong in the same sentence in my world. So that wouldn't work for me either. But I'm just saying it wasn't until I got with him. I mean, my little Hawaii dude, that was great too, but I knew there was the part that was missing was the emotional connection. I mean, it was fun, but there's no way I was going to be in love with him. It just wasn't that kind of party. So when I got the whole package, he was smart, he was sexy, he was cute, he was committed, family oriented, I mean, and then he had that component too. It was over for me. I just fought it for a long time. But finally when he said, well, I'm not going to ask you no more, is when it kind of all the puzzle pieces came together. And I thought, wait a minute, wait, whoa, hold up, homeboy, hold up. And then I thought about it. And, with that component, you have to have that if you're going to be in a long-term relationship. I mean, it just has to be there. There has to be that kind of physical connection and that kind of compatibility. If you don't have it, there'll be something tremendously missing. You'll always feel it that is missing. You'll be having this undercurrent of dissatisfaction. You won't be close to him because you'll be closed off because there's not the much kind of intimate satisfaction that you're looking for. And it's just all downhill. It's all downhill. You can only be disappointed so many times. And then you just, shit starts falling apart. So to me, there's no point in even entering into something like that when you know it's not going to work for you. So, I always feel like people who do that stuff where they say, I'm not going to do anything until I get married. Well, see, you're going to get stuck. You're going to get stuck with somebody who can't put it down or who's like not packing or who's weird in the head because he just thinks he's put some false association with it, like it's some magical God-given thing or something. And you're going to be miserable. You're going to be stuck too because you would have married it. Yeah. I don't mess with. You know what? They probably not. It's just that's all they fat with. What little bit of fat they got, it just went there. Because it ain't nowhere else on their body. I'm not looking at no man who's got like a gap in his thighs, knobby knees, his elbows, his upper arm. He don't have no guns. He just got, like a little straight, like his upper arm look like this. It's just straight, no muscle, no definition. I can't do that. That don't look like, no. I'm telling you, who was that up there? Popo. Yes, Popo Page, honey. I'm not going to lie. That was how he convinced me. I was just kind of, all my resistance disappeared after. Yeah, well, never mind all them details. That was so long ago. So, yeah, so here's what you do. If you have a question like Sliver did, you can call it in or you can just type it in the chat. Either one works for me. So let me move on while y'all get your thoughts together. Let's do question number 3. So this girl is 36 and she says the dude that she's talking about, her fiance, is 33. And he ended our long-term relationships a few weeks ago. I find myself in a position I did not expect. Last August, my boyfriend, who was 33, proposed to me and I said yes. We had been together for 8 years. Okay. And we're planning on moving in together this year. He had already told his family. We were already buying furniture. I had even written out a guest list. But a few weeks ago, after a fight, he decided his feelings had changed and he needed time to think. I received one last text from him telling me to forget about him. He does not respond to any texts or phone calls from me. I'm not sure what to do with myself. I already began the painful task of letting people know that he broke up with me. Everyone is shocked. I'm depressed, obviously. I called a crisis center twice and have been using a recommended app for support. My friend and family have been checking in on me. My therapist went MIA, so I may need to look for a new one. My regular doctor can't see me until a month from now, and he's the one who prescribes my anxiety meds. My friend gave me some THC gummies to help me sleep. My support person suggested I try dating apps, but I did not have the energy to keep a conversation going. I want to move on with my life, but I don't know how. A large piece of my life is gone, and I'm not really sure why. Because he met someone else, my dear. Let me explain something to you so that you understand this. When a man, especially a man in his 30s, late 20s and 30s, wants to be with you on a permanent basis, he's not going to date you for no 8 years. You messed up. You messed up. That situation right there shouldn't have lasted any more than 2 years, not 8. 4 times too long. And so he got everything that you had to offer plus some in 8 years. You talking about moving in and buying furniture and doing all this kind of stuff. Why would you do all that and you're not married already? Why would you stay with somebody for 8 years? It's almost a decade of your life wasted on that fool. You messed up big time. So in the meantime, while he was keeping you, and I mean, he may have been, in a good place with you at first, but the fact that he didn't want to move the relationship forward to the next level and just kept dating you for years and years and years shows me that he wasn't really that serious about you at all. You was a placeholder. You didn't recognize it. When a man really wants to be with you, he's not going to spend that kind of time dating your ass. He's going to, want to lock that shit down. So you not understanding what the reality is in the mating game, just kept dating somebody for almost 10 years. He proposed because he probably felt like that's what he was supposed to do. But between last August and when he broke up with you a few weeks ago, he met someone else and he wants to be with her. So he's going to get rid of you and he's going to be with her. Don't be surprised when you hear that he's getting married in a few months. Because that's how fast they move when they really want to be with you. They're not trying to date you for years and years. They want to get this, this we as a couple marriage and our life going thing as quickly as possible. So you made some unfortunate decisions. It'll be good for you to get a therapist though, so you can talk about the signs and things that you missed and why you were so focused on staying with someone who wasn't moving the relationship forward. You just spin your wheels on a hamster wheel relationship for 8 years. Luckily, you're still young enough that you can recover from this and, go on to have a nice marriage and children and stuff if that's what you want. You're still young enough to do those things. So, you know, go ahead. Start getting find yourself a new therapist and start getting yourself in gear. Stay off the dating apps. That'll just make you more depressed. What you need to do right now is get yourself together, not worry about expending what little energy you still have, spreading around on random strangers and men who are just out for a booty call. Because that's all they are on them apps. They're not trying to be in a serious relationship. Okay, and you just got out of a situation like that, so you don't need another one. So if you have put an app on your phone, delete it, and don't even think about trying to date anybody until you get a couple of months down the road when you do a little bit more healing. Got it? Because this is you've been with that dude for 8 years. It's gonna take you seriously at least 1 year to get yourself back on an even keel. This is sad. So yes, here we go. Here's the link if you want to call your question in. Otherwise, you make your super chat donation or your cash app donation, $10 US dollars, and then you can type your question there or you can call it in, either one. And you'll get an answer right here on the spot like I'm answering these people. Question number 5 of 12. How do I respond to unwanted advances in a polite manner? Should I even be polite about it? Hi, Deb. So recently I have had a random burst of hope and confidence that allowed me to feel genuinely good about myself for the first time in a long time. I made a post on Reddit, and Am I Ugly? They have a forum like that? Oh, okay. Let me get back to you. Let me get this question right here. I'm 40. He's 50. Okay, so 10 years. Been together 20 years, yet not married. He pays all of my bills, gives me allowance every month, takes care of our out of 5 what? And pay for my condo. But he won't get married. He does everything a husband would do though. Hmm. Hmm. What is five? But do you mean boys? I'm trying to understand what you wrote. I got a super chat question too. Okay, well, let me get this. I'm doing Mandy. I'll get her shade. Tell me who it is, though. Or maybe do I need to scroll up, or maybe we can have them reposted in here. Um, Mandy, also, where do you live? Because some states in the United States, if you've been together with somebody this long and you live together, you are his de facto wife under the law, regardless. What they call it? Common law, your common law wife. So, you'd have to know a little bit more, investigate what's going on in your area about that particular law. I don't know. I haven't studied it for the whole country. I can't tell you that part. Yes, 5 boys. Okay. Okay. Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay. I see. I don't know. But you know what? You could go on a website. They have like a government website for North Carolina, and type in common law marriage and see what pops up, and see if would protect you and them boys in the case of something happening to him. The other thing, which you don't even have to be married, there's no common law. Okay. Then make sure you get you a big life insurance policy on him, and let him know that if something happens to him, he needs to be able to provide for those boys. So, make sure he gets that and keeps them premiums up. So, in a way, like, you already did everything that there is to do to be married. Make sure he creates a will. You can go on this website called freewill.com, and he can create a will. Y'all can sit down and create a will right here and right there. You don't have to be married to will your stuff to your children. So, but you need to take care of your legal ends and protect you and them kids as best you can without the umbrella of marriage. And you can get all the protections, that you can legally set up all the protections that a wife would automatically get. You just gonna have to do some extra work to do it. Okay, that's fine. Well, 20 years, I mean, it's too late to talk about marriage at this point. Like I'm saying, let's forget that. Let's focus on what we're gonna do from this point forward. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get $1 million or $2 million policy on his behind to protect them kids. What we gonna do is make sure that he set up some bank accounts for his kids, some college funds or something. What we gonna do is make sure that he has a will, so that any property that he owns, any vehicles that he owns, any money in his accounts, any investments that he has, anything he inherited from his parents, his father, some people pan down watches and rings and stuff like that. I mean, whatever. All those loose ends are tied up. So, like I said, a wife would be protected automatically with all of this stuff. You are going to have to do it manually by going through this process. You can get an attorney to help you do it. It costs you a little money. Or you can do it, like I said, there's freewill.com. There's, I think I don't know. Just go down to the bank and set up the accounts. I mean, and he can put you as the executor of any situation he sets up for the kids, like in trust for them until they're 18. Just tie up all your loose ends. And so it might be good, though, because I don't really know the laws there. I'm just talking like in general, to consult an attorney about what you should do to protect your 5 children. Should be your focus right now. Marriage, 20 years is a long time to start worrying about it now. His first marriage, he married her after 2 months, and here I'm 20 years, and the only reason I won't trip is because he treats me so perfect and pays for everything. Girl, that situation you got is better than most women's marriages, so I'm just telling you, don't worry about that anymore. That's water under the bridge. You're going to look forward from today forward what you need to do to protect yourself and your children, okay? That's what you need to do. Just focus on that. And like I said, I think my bet is that you should consult an attorney and a state's attorney and talk about what's the situation and moves you can put in place to protect your children and their future. Approach it that way, and then put all those things in place. He can't fight you if you approach it that way. If you say, well, how you going to take care of me and me, he's going to resist that. But if you say, I need you to make sure that these kids are taken care of if something should happen to you. So we need to start doing this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this thing here, and this, that, and the third, and you're going to do it. Because I don't want my kids to suffer. They already would have lost their daddy, and now you want them to suffer financially too? We're not going to do that. So you're going to put some moves in place, and that's what we're going to do, and that's how we're going to do it. And let's focus on that. You're welcome. I hope that helpful. But yeah, make you an appointment. Get yourself to an attorney and start crossing your T's and dotting your I's. Because dude is on one. I mean, he's doing the right thing, but wait, what? I don't know. They worry. I never said you could worry about it if you want to. But I'm saying if you want to get, my thing is if you want to get married, then do it strategically and don't date forever. Okay, if that's what you want. I also say that you should make sure getting married is what you want. After you've thought of all the pros and cons, the ups and downs, and the risks and rewards of it, based on what your needs are, not what your mama said, not what your pastor said, not what your granny said, not because your friends is getting married and you feel left out, not because the manosphere said if you don't get married by 30 that you hit a wall or some nonsense. None of those things matter. What's going on in your head and your heart and how you going to get your needs met. That's what I said. Now, the rest of it don't have nothing to do with nothing. Oh, a fellow Leo. Oh, yes, girl. Yes, we must handle our business. Okay. There you go. So let's move back to this question over here. The young lady who said she needs help responding to unwanted advances. So she felt good and she posted on Am I Ugly? And guys keep messaging me to give me compliments. They're very sweet and I appreciate them, but they keep immediately going into talking about Nook, and I'm not really ready for that. They are being really kind though, and I don't want to be rude. Okay, let me stop here. Are you stupid? Don't you realize that some rando on the internet complimenting you and then going to start talking about his wiener is disrespecting you and it's not nice at all? He's treating you like a garden tool. Okay, and you sitting up there like, oh, he's nice and I just don't want to be rude. He's already been rude to you. What's wrong with your thinking? That you think this kind of behavior towards you is acceptable? You claim that you had a burst of hope and confidence. No, you haven't. Because you're accepting abusive treatment on the internet from complete strangers. Little girl. Okay, let me read the rest of this. How can I politely make it known that I'm uncomfortable? I don't think they're doing it maliciously. That's because you dumb. You dumb. Why would you think that some man is going to be doing something like that to you and he's doing it to be nice? Are you out of your mind? What is going on in your head? For real? Who told you this stupid shit that you're thinking? Ooh, this is spooky, silly, just unbelievable. But it's like they immediately start asking about my body and stuff. I feel bad just immediately leaving over that after they were so nice to me. But it makes me really uncomfortable. I like having friends though. So I want to try, ooh, this child, and speak with them longer and they're really nice. How can I deal with this? Thanks. First of all, you need to understand that nice is some BS and nothing about what these dudes are doing to you is nice. The way they're talking to you is not nice. The way that you responding to them is stupid. And the stuff that they're choosing to say to you is not nice either. The idea that they think that that's appropriate to approach you that way is not nice. They can't be your friends because they're not nice. I'm trying to figure out what part of this kind of nonsense is nice to you. Are you that insecure and that desperate for attention that you will accept abusive treatment just so somebody talk to you? Are you that wrapped up in what you look like and somebody giving you a damn compliment that you think that you have to accept abuse from them because they said that you weren't ugly? Girl, if you don't get your little behind to the nearest counselor, you need some serious self-esteem help and some understanding of what abuse is because you are all confused. What these dudes did is some stuff that deserved for them to get cussed the hell out. I mean, like called every kind of MF that there is. and everything. I mean, I could go on for hours cussing them out for doing some mess like that. And the fact that you sit there and you, I want to be friends with them, shows me that something is not connecting your head. You confused. Are you either like really confused or you really stupid? It might be it's probably a combination thereof. I'm like, this is just unbelievable. Yeah. She getting treated like she a garden tool. And she's up there, oh, but they were really nice. Little girl. You don't be polite to men like this. And you say, okay, well, you're uncomfortable. You don't have to tell them you're comfortable. What you do is you block them. You on Reddit, they have a really good block feature. Block, block, block. So everyone who does you like that, you report them to Reddit and then you block them. And then you report them to Reddit and then you block them. That's what you do. But see, if you got enough silly young girls like you that don't even think that this is bad behavior, then of course they're gonna keep doing it because they just have suffered no repercussions. Man, somebody just called me ugly. I block them. They say, well, you black anything, I block them. You old anything, I block them. They talk about any women on this channel, I block them. They say anything about my videos that I don't like, I block them. Because, this channel's for women anyway, so I don't really care what men think. Seriously, and I tell them that too. Your opinion is so irrelevant. It's like on Mars. That's how much it matters to me. And they just be so offended because they're like, well, but you should listen to men. Why? Why should I listen to you? Are you paying me to listen to you? If you ain't paying me, then I don't have any reason to listen to you. You're just some rando on the internet. Just a little girl, for real though. And anybody else who thinks like that, y'all better get your stuff together. You better be cussing these fools out. And then you report them and then you block them. That's what you do, that in that order. Because, first you got to get a good dose of, you got to call them at least 10 MFs, at least. You nasty MF, you stupid MF, you ugly MF, you no home training ass MF, you just, you get the idea. You put your little conjugations and stuff in the front of it, and then you end with MF. Okay, that's how you do it. And you should be able to come up with at least 10 things if you can't sit down and think of them, so that when those happen, you can pull them up on your phone and you'd be like, okay, let me type that. Oh, yeah, that's it. Then, and you just type it in. And then you send it. Once you know that they've read it, you press block, you press report, and then you block them. Okay? I'm going to have a swig on this one. It's so disappointing to see young ladies be so, these parents aren't doing their job at all to teach their daughters self-respect and to teach them boundaries. There are dozens of videos on this channel on boundaries. Young lady, I suggest that you start looking at them, taking notes, and figuring out how you went wrong and why. And you could do that if you need to with the help of a psychotherapist. Woo! Number 6. This is a young lady. She says her boyfriend of 5 years recently started to sell. Oh! Her boyfriend turned into a street corner pharmaceutical rep. What would you do? Girl, that's easy. I would dump him. See, wait a minute. Before we even read this letter, because like I said, the summary to me is enough these days just to see where you went wrong. Do you enjoy dodging bullets? I'm going to sound like a commercial. We have the product for you. Do you enjoy drive-bys and, people holding you up at gunpoint and breaking into your house and tying you up and putting bags over your head and stuff like I see in the movies? Is that your idea of a good time? If not, then I suggest you leave home Skillet alone immediately. His life is now, his days are numbered when he starts going down that path. You don't need to be in the car with him when it goes down. You don't need to be at his house when it goes down. You don't need to be walking down the street with him when it goes down. You've heard of drive-bys? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, my goodness. This little girl here. What's wrong with these little girls? Just okay. She says, there has been a huge weight put on me ever since I found out that my boyfriend decided to not pursue college or a 9 to 5 job, and he decided to sell full time. He explained that he realized school isn't for him and he does not want to spend the rest of his life working a desk job for someone else's business. I understand the whole wave of starting your own business and not working for someone, but I never expected this route. I told him numerous times that it makes me feel incredibly uncomfortable, especially if we plan to move in together and start a family. He said he would stop eventually, but never provided a date. He also explained that his kids don't need to know what he does. I don't like that I have to keep his image secretive. He is the first person to provide so much support and love to me. But is love and support enough to stay with someone? Am I exaggerating and being too paranoid? I just said that at the beginning, what the reality is of this lifestyle. They don't tend to live very long. Even if they do live long, they end up in prison, and that's where they live out the rest of their years behind bars. So, I mean, is that the future you want? He dropped out of college. So what? Did you still go to college? So you're gonna be college educated with a criminal dealing boyfriend. That's your idea of a suitable mate for you. Yeah, okay. I don't even know what to say. Well, I've been saying that so much lately. I don't know what to say because it's just the letters lately have been so mind-bogglingly effed up that it just makes me just wonder what's going on with these young people. What's happening? Is it the food? Is it the internet? Maybe it's all the screen time. It must be defecting their brain or something. I don't know what to say. Something's going on because it's just the thinking is just so weird. Yeah, he's a serious liability. And can you imagine him driving around with the little kids in the back seat in the car seat, and then the drive by happens with the kids in the car because they little, right? They can't be that old because he's only 28 and she's 27. So you know what I mean? The kids can't be that old. I mean, even if he had them real young, the oldest one would be 10, right? So that's still young. The 11-year-old might be able to be looking out the window, but anybody younger than that is not going to be able to see out the window. So nobody's going to even know they're in the car. And here's the car all riddled with bullets, and the little kids are innocent, just innocently laid out because of their ignorant daddy. Oh, I couldn't do it. But you do you. But when you had the problems about it, don't write me, because I done told you. Next question, number 7 of 12. I'm struggling after an attack by my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend. Support or advice appreciated. Well, you ain't gonna get no support. I'm 31. I'm keeping details brief, but I'm struggling and waiting for a therapist appointment, but just looking for some advice. A few weeks ago, my partner's ex-girlfriend literally assaulted us on the street. She hit me in the head a few times and tried to put a cigarette out on me. She is accusing us of having an affair, which literally didn't even happen. Him and I started dating around a month after their relationship was over, but it was over. They were together for many years, and I'd met her a couple of times via mutual friends. He and I have a strong relationship, but it's been rocked by this attack. The attack was deeply disturbing and vicious, and I am seriously having a hard time getting back into my life, getting out of bed or socializing. Do I have PTSD? Any tips for moving on from this event? The police are involved, so we're waiting on that to be resolved. Thank you so much. As I said, I'm waiting for a therapist appointment, but this morning feels different. Child, see, that's how you know that you white. You white because you ain't never had a fight before, and you all affected and in bed and shit about it. What you were supposed to do when somebody come wanting to fight you, y'all supposed to double team her and beat her ass. But he's probably trying to not hurt her, and you was caught off guard, don't know how to fight, and so she got the best of you. There's no way. I would have had that bitch on the ground and beaten her head into the cement, grinding her cheek on that asphalt, so she would have went and she'd have been fucked up on her face for the rest of her life with scars. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to punch her in the throat so she can't breathe and hope that she catch a breath before. So when the ambulance comes, that she still can make it. That's what she's supposed to hope. That's what you're supposed to do. Choke that bitch out. But you didn't do anything. You didn't kick her. You didn't punch her. You didn't do nothing. Just sit up there letting her hit you on the head. Psh, I wish I would. That's how you know. I mean, ain't no sister in the world gonna go let somebody do this to her. It's not going to happen. No Latina sister, and definitely no Samoan. I'm even scared of Samoans. But I had a fight with one when I was in junior high. I beat her ass, but still, they like kamikaze pilots. They just keep coming. I'm not gonna do all of that. Yeah, honey, kicking, punching, I'm just not. I have not had a fight that I did not win. Because I think that's the good thing about having brothers, because I never did. You know how girls be doing all this stuff here and grabbing hair and doing all this stuff. My brothers taught me to box. So you go into the position, you up here like this, boop, with that hook, boop, 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 the uppercut, and then go right here, and people go flying back. And that's how I used to fight. I fight girls like that too, boys too. I didn't care. But this right here, this should have never happened this way. You guys, it's two of you and one of her. You should have beat her ass. So she knows never, ever to try a trick like that again. But you let her get away with it and come calling the police and stuff. Like I said, that's how I know you white folks, because people of color don't go out like this. So I'm going to tell you, you go ahead and you go to your little therapist and you do all the stuff that you need to do. And what you probably would want to do, since you don't know how to fight, is leave this dude alone, because she's not going to stop. Because she's going to go there, going to give her probation or some little lightweight slap on the hand thing, or just let her out on her OR. And then she's going to be right back at it because she's stupid. Most likely, dude is still screwing with her. Right? Not guaranteed, but her reaction seems a bit intense. Like she's, there's still something. He talking to her. He's talked to promise something to her. He gave her hope in some kind of way, or he's still screwing her here and there. So I'm not sure which it is, but her emotional attachment and her reactions after seeing you two together is a bit odd, considering how long they have been apart. So I would look at that, and I would look at him, and I would say, well, you know what? You need to go on back over there with girlfriend, because I'm out. One thing I don't do is being attacked. Like the girl, I told you about them two girls that jammed me up in that bathroom about that dude. And he swore that they was, done, and that she was tripping. I don't know. He could have been telling the truth. I don't really know, and I didn't really care. All I knew is when I made it out that bathroom, I had to fight my way out the bathroom. They only had one door in and one door out, and her big old Huey Buffalo Bay size friend was blocking the door. It was like I felt like I was in a fight for my life, because it was two of them and it was one of me, and they were blocking the door, and so I couldn't get out. There's nowhere for me to run, so I had to fight. And it's this kind of thing where once I got out, because I fucked that bitch up, it was blood everywhere. And her friend, the big friend, was like, "Oh my God!" She was seeing all the blood of her friend, so she moved from the door to comfort her friend, and so that's how I got out. But once I got out and I went over to the table where dude was, and I'm like, we had these matching outfits, these red leather pants and these white silk shirts. Blood's all over my shirt. He's like, "What the fuck happened?" I'd say, so I told him what happened, and there was nobody in. They was coming out with security and stuff. And I said, "Who is that girl?" Because she swore that she's your woman, and that I was messing with your relationship. And he's like, "She my ex. I haven't been with her in months." And the way he looked, it looked like he was telling the truth. And plus, he had been in my face for all this time. So I'm like, okay, he's like around me an awful lot. So I'm not saying he couldn't, but it just seemed odd, because he was either always at my house, I was always at his house, or we was going somewhere together. Something. We were like every time I turn around. And that's the dude that I tried to run over with my car I told you about, because I saw him on 7th Market. And I had a flashback to that fight scene. And I'm like, oh, no, let me just go ahead and run you down now. But at that moment, once I explained that to him, he was comping his plea and all this stuff. But then I just left him alone after that. I left. I went and got in my car, drove off, and I never talked to him again. The next time I saw him was when I tried to run him down with my car. And that was months later. So it's like, You better than me because I don't do, violence in a situation that I don't have any influence in. I didn't create that situation. They fighting you about some dude. You could have him. You could have him, his pit bull, his mama, all his gold chains, his car, everything. You could have everything connected with him. I don't want to be bothered. I'm not fighting over no man. The only reason I fought that time is because I need to I could just imagine if I didn't, it was gonna be all bad for me. So I did what I needed to do to get up out of there. Yes, honey, me and the Honda. That was my third Honda. And I was like, let me run this cloud down. Yes. So yes, this is it. So anyway, what we're doing tonight, if you just wanted in, we're taking live advice questions. You pay your $10 and then you type your question in here, or you can call it in by clicking the link that's there, and I'll answer your question in real time, right here, right now. So especially if you have something going on for the weekend and you have a traumatic question, you have some doubt, you're confused, and you need an answer, you better ask it right now. Girl, Deb loves Deb. Okay. My number one love is me. So I don't care about a man. I could, to me, they're like just as interchangeable as a box of Kleenex. Now you pull the Kleenex out and it look just like the one that you already pulled out, and there's 200 of them in a box. Yeah. 200 men and they all got the same crap going on. Just pull out another one, fling that one, pull another one, fling that one. That's, to me, that's how men are. I'm not going to get too attached to any one of them unless you like Stella. You come out the box with gold flakes and shit. Well, then I might take a second look. But other than that, you just, one of many and nothing particularly unique about you. So I'm not going to be going through no changes about no man and having my face all messed up. My hair yanked out, my scalp all ripped up. Now, I'm not doing all that. I'll mess up yours though, but So yeah, that's pretty sad, girlfriend. You better learn how to fight. You're gonna be hanging around with some ratchet dudes. Question number 8. How should I'm 27, deal with my friend? He's 48. What? Who is making resentful and angry statements about women? You put his old ass in the wind. Why is this even a question? Girl, I'm trying to tell you, men are like Kleenex. There's another one in the box. I just thought of that. I mean, I never thought of that before, but that's how it is in my mind. So she says, I have a friend who's very liberal when it comes to race issues, but lately he's been saying things about women that I find hard to take. He complains that women don't like him because he's a nice guy. When we talked about the murders of Gabby Petito and Lacey Peterson, he was angry at the men who killed them, but then called them a-holes, but then muttered, yeah, but the women chose them. He said he supports the old feminists, but he doesn't like the new feminists because they don't want equality. They are oppressing men. I read about fourth wave feminism, and they actually want to include men and boys in fighting against sexual harassment and abuse. I tried to tell him that, but he wouldn't listen. Oh, he getting his education from YouTube University, from the manosphere. When a woman supervisor grabbed him by the arm to pull him somewhere where she needed his help, he complained to me that women can get away with that, but men can't because as a man, he could get into trouble for any little thing. I agree she shouldn't have grabbed his arm, but listening to him talk this way is totally triggering because I know many women who have been sexually harassed, assaulted, and nothing happened, even when they alerted authorities. I'm not sure how to deal with this. Any advice? You cuss him out. Why is this a question? Let me look at your letter. Let me see what you said. Okay, so he says, yeah, but the women chose them. It's like, yeah, they chose them. And in their minds, those men were better than you. Imagine that. Those men were better than you. So you really are messed up. Okay, you really are something that no woman wants. Really think about that. If a woman would choose a guy who was a murderer and he's a better man than you, what in the world do you have to offer? What's going on with you that you don't even rank on that level? See, I would have to slam him, make him, flip it back on him because he's trying to act like, the women are so violent. So, yeah, but even the murderers got it up on you. So you really at the bottom of the heap. You like snail slime low on the totem pole, my brother. Yes. And so then he says he doesn't like the new feminists because they don't want equality. They are oppressing men. Where are women oppressing men? Men are putting on dresses and going into women's locker room and competing as women in sports. Show me where women are oppressing men. Where's that happening at? Give me one example of that happening. That's what you have to do to challenge him. You're not doing that. You say, yeah, I hear you talking all that shit, but give me an example of when that happened. Tell me something that I can look up on the internet or you verify with a story at Newsweek or New York Times or something. Tell me some facts. Don't just ramble off some nonsense you heard on the internet. I need some facts. Who, what, where, when, and why. How did that happen? Give me facts. And then he'll sit there stumbling because there are none. So then he says, about the woman, she grabbed his arm to pull him somewhere. What he was supposed to do was say, unhand me, Cal. Don't be grabbing me. Don't put your hands on the staff. That's totally inappropriate. Now, why couldn't he just say that? I would say that if a man was grabbing on me, don't put your hand on me. Don't be grabbing me and pulling me nowhere. You done lost your mind. But he didn't do that. He just want to whine about it like a little bitch. And so that's what I would tell him. A real man would have said something. But instead, you just a emotional little bitch boy. Want to come crying to me at 43 and I'm only 27. You're not making him feel bad, which is what you should be doing. You just indulging his silliness. Stop it. Very good. And that's unusual because, a lot of Korean men are just so misogynistic. It's not funny, but maybe he's an Americanized one. So he's not, as patriarchal as the ones that are still in Korea. But good job. Good job. I was watching this Chinese drama and I was like, ooh, the 2 stars in this is just like fine as hell. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? All these older, they're not that, they look like they're in their 40s. Asian men are just like fine as hell to me. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Do I need to reactivate my passport and start going places and meeting some men from other countries like that? Because I'm just like, oh, yeah, I know, Christian, I know. I have a whole article about Korean women and how they sick of Korean men. Japanese women sick of Japanese men. It's just the black women sick of black men. It's just interesting. So, it's just going to end up with everybody kind of just playing musical partners and finding whatever it is that they're looking for, I guess. But, I'm not taking this thing, where they think that they're going to be trying to put the mash on you and hit on you and stuff. We're not doing that. And I don't care how much kung fu you know. One thing you can't do is kung fu a bullet. So, don't get too jiggy. Don't be getting too fancy here, sir. So, yeah. There's always that. Yeah, these two do. There's just something about it. It just had like this very masculine look. And I was, usually I like dudes with the thing here, but both of them had a clean shaven face, which for me to be attracted to them was kind of unusual because I usually like men with, facial hair. But I was like, oh, and I was all caught up I was looking at them more than I was paying attention to the storyline. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch them 2 episodes that I watched because I don't know what I saw. But they were cute and tall. And I was like, ooh, and Billy Dude took his little shirt off and he had all these muscles happening. And I was like, oh my God. Ooh. I'm just going to be a dirty old woman. That's what's going to happen to me. Yeah. Yeah. But that thing about men being treated better, that happens everywhere. That there's patriarchy. That's all over the world, except in them islands where the women rule and stuff. And those are like minority cultures, not the norm. So that in alone is not limited to Asia. That's everywhere. Brothers over here be demanding 8 plates, right? Right? So I don't put too much stock on that. So anyway, I got another couple of questions here. I'm about to read question number 9. This is a young lady. She says, she's 24. She says, I don't know how to deal with men who stare at you for prolonged periods. You see, I'm trans. Oh, Jesus. And there have been a large influx of men who look at me and it can't feel super uncomfortable, and I don't really know how to ignore it. I was hoping to get some advice from people who have been through that and wondering if it's just a time thing you get used to, or if there's any techniques you got that helps you ignore it. I'm gonna have an answer for you after I finish with Goddess over here, because I need to marinate on your special brand of bullshit. My friends and I weren't taught the game that men play. Why is it that the majority of fathers don't teach their daughters about the game? Is it a boys' club? Why not educate us? Well, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that because my father started on me when I was like 11, way before I was even thinking about boys. Um, the only thing I can think of is they don't know the game themselves because a lot of fathers. I mean, just because he's somebody's daddy don't mean he got any game himself, right? So he might be like what we now call a lame, where he, was college educated, went to school, with church, and did all stuff. He don't have no game. He don't have no street smarts. He don't know nothing to teach you. So it could be that. It could also be that he was hoping that you would only date, these little Poindexter type of dudes that were straightforward, nice little young, upstanding young men, so that you wouldn't be subjected to that kind of stuff. So why fill your head with it and make you suspicious? Or it could be, like you said, the boys' club, and that they, is bros before hoes. So even to sacrifice their own daughters to these men and their ideals and games and goals of, tapping it and moving on and stuff. A lot of fathers, I think, are more focused on that than they are on protecting their own daughter. Because to me, even if you didn't know the game, you would find somebody who does, and you would make sure that you learn something from that dude, so you could impart those things to your daughter. That's why I spend so much time on this channel sharing the information I learned from my dad and my uncles and my trifling older brother to get to you, to share with you guys. So if you don't have a daddy or somebody in your life telling you this kind of stuff, then you can learn it here. There's unfortunately though, there's so many videos now because I've been doing this so long, I can't even remember half the stuff that I've already said. So you just have to do a keyword search at the top of the channel and just look for what you want, and all the videos with that keyword will come up, and then you should be able to find something that'll help you. But yeah, it has to be one of those reasons. But I think a lot of it is, the men don't have no game themselves, or their game is so weak, and the game keeps changing. Because when my father was telling me all the stuff, there was no internet. So, there was no cell phones. So with the invention of all that kind of stuff, the game changed. They have a whole new way to run game on women now. Catfishing and all that stuff. That stuff didn't exist when my daddy was teaching me all that, the game and stuff. That came way later in life. That stuff I had to learn on my own. So you guys got to think, he probably just didn't know. That's what I'm thinking is the most likely the thing, that he didn't know. Because the street dudes tend to be the ones who do tell their daughter stuff, because they don't want their daughter to get took, because they feel like it reflects badly on them. So I'm gonna go, out of my three choices, I'm gonna go with your daddy didn't know no game, and so he couldn't teach you something he didn't know. Same with these mothers. They don't know nothing. All they know how to do is cook and, clean and serve their man. So that's what they teach their daughter. You can't be teaching your daughters no bullshit like that these days. Got to teach your daughter to be a G. So she's not, these dudes will be scared to try to play her because they don't know what she might do and do back. What's going to be the price that they have to pay for running that game? And that little thought bubble be coming up, and they be like, oh no, this bitch is crazy. I'm not trying to mess with her like that. She might go to my house, my mama's house, and leave a trail of death and destruction and stuff because she's mad. I'm gonna leave her alone. Let me just leave her alone. And I think, some women are like that. They're like the Terminator. They're gonna destroy everything in their path. And the dudes who get with them kind of women, and they get a taste of it, they be like, oh, let me leave her alone real quick. And they don't be messing with them girls. Yeah, that was a good question. So let me go back to this nonsense over here. Okay, so this person who claims he's a 24-year-old female doesn't know how to deal with men who stare at him for prolonged periods because he's trans. Let me tell you why they staring at you. Because they looking at you because they know you a man and like, what the fuck is he doing dressed up like a woman trying to pretend like he's a girl? Motherfucker, really? That's what they're thinking. They're thinking that something's wrong with you and that they're just like staring at you like they can't believe what they're looking at. That's what's going on here. You thinking that you put on a dress and a wig and some lashes and a little makeup and that makes you a girl. This whole thing that you wrote about, that's part of our experiences from the time that we're 10, 11 years old. It starts with older men staring at you and making inappropriate comments to you, sometimes going so far as to try to touch you. That is the female experience. You just getting a tiny taste of it and you want to write an advice letter and be all in your feelings about it and all confused and shit. That's why these men want to talk about they feel like they're a woman. You know your bitch ass don't. You don't even have a fucking clue what it feels like to be a woman. Ain't had menstrual cramp in the first. Ain't had nobody chasing after you, stalking you. Had no man coming at you talking about what you better do for him or else. You ain't had them experiences. Even on the job, they be fucking with you like that. You haven't had that experience, and your ass is not a girl. Okay, you're not a woman. Just get over it. Put your pants back on and fix your face so you look like a dude and get on with your life. Okay? This is ridiculous. Your ass ain't trans. You just fucked up in the head. Get your ass to a shrink. That's what you need to do. All you kids talking about you trans, you some confused little fucks. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you all. It's like a fad. Something's gone with these kids. They all have anxiety and they all want to be trans. What the fuck is going on with the young people in the United States? Everybody's all messed up. Oh, there's no such thing. It's just gender dysmorphia. There's just a word people made up to just try to make their fucked upness sound medically approved. Okay? There's no such thing. Stop it. Just like they created that word cis. There's no such thing as that. There's women, and then there's people that want to pretend to be women. Okay? But they're not. They're men. So I don't know how many times I have to say this. People who come to this channel and try to tell me something about that trans shit, let me explain something to you. This ain't the spot for you. I will never agree with you. I will never approve of that shit. I'm not going to like it, and I'm going to tell you I don't like it, and there's nothing you can do about it. Because nobody has to agree with you. Now, you've passed some laws, and that's all fine and dandy. But one thing that happens in the world is that people have free speech. They can share their thoughts and opinions, and they don't have to agree with you. You can get in your feelings about it if you want to, but it's not going to change my mind. Okay? This is not the spot for you if you're looking for support and encouragement and stuff like that. But if you're looking for a reality check because you done let yourself get caught up in trying to follow a fad and peer pressure and stuff like that, well, then this is the spot for you. Also, take a look of, you could probably do a search on YouTube of the people who transitioned and now are depressed and sad about it. They cut their body parts off and stuff, and they can't transition back, and they are a hot mess. Take a look at those before you go too far with this nonsense that's in your head. And look at the pain in those people's eyes and the recognition that what they should have done was gotten some therapy to get their mind right instead of taking hormones and going to get surgery. What they thought was going to fix the problem that's deep inside of them, the problem is still there. They were just distracted with all of this other stuff, but the problem is still there. So don't do that to yourself. Okay? Get yourself on somebody's couch and work that out. That would be the best thing for you, for you long term. I'm trying to get you to see that that's the best thing for you. Okay? Don't be popping all these pills. You don't know what that's going to do to you. And at the time you decide that you want to transition back and have kids and stuff, you don't know what them hormones are going to do. It's a total experiment on these young kids' bodies. They have no idea what all these drugs are going to do to these children long term. And their descendants. It's just criminal to me that all these doctors and surgeons are in on this and just tearing up these kids' bodies like that. With just out of care in the world just because of money. It's just so wrong to me. And I don't understand why more medical professionals aren't speaking out against that stuff. It should be a crime. Like nobody should be able to put surgery on a kid's body or give them hormones that change their body like that until they're 18, 19, 21 years old, and they can make a decision that's more informed. They're kids. And they want to put the parents in jail and stuff if they disagree with them. It's like the parents are trying to protect their children. That's their job. It's just a hot mess. I just don't understand what the goal is here. Why there's such a big push to get so many young people to go down that path. There's a concerted effort to do this, and there's a big picture here. I'll figure it out eventually, but I'm just not understanding the point of it. It's other than money. Yeah, it's just really sad. It's just sad. It just breaks my heart to see so many young people, they're in the time of their life where they should be like, living and traveling and laughing and having fun and partying and stuff. And these kids are sitting here with anxiety and depression and talking about I'm trans. It's heartbreaking to me. Yeah, I said some of the therapists are pushing it too, but there's some that aren't. But I don't know. It's just sad to me. So many young kids' lives are being destroyed. It's just wrong. These people are destroying these kids. It's just wrong. Okay. Now, question number 10. We only have 12. If you got a question, you can type it in or you can click that link right there and call it in, whatever you want to do. So this young guy, he's 24, says his 23-year-old girlfriend is talking down to him over small things. Me and my girlfriend lived together for over a year. We do an equal share of household chores. Last night, she snapped at me and spoke down to me over something small, and she doesn't see anything wrong with it. I work from home, so I tend to do most of the cooking for my girlfriend getting in since she finishes work later. Before starting the food, I had a quick shower, then my girlfriend messaged saying that she'd be back slightly earlier and to start the food early. From the shower, I went straight to start cooking. Everything was fine, and when we went to getting sorted for bed, my girlfriend shops me into the bathroom to show me that I had forgotten to wash the bathtub out. This is the first time I've forgotten this, and it was just because I was distracted by her message and rushed to start making the food. I apologized and told her it was a mistake and that I just forgot. Her response was, "It's not hard to clean a bath out. It only takes 10 seconds. It should have been done." I told her again it was a mistake, but I don't appreciate being spoken to like that. And she just said, "I should have cleaned the bath out then." I cleaned the tub and then just left the room. I started talking to her this morning about it, and she said that she only spoke to me like that because I didn't clean the bath. So if I had cleaned the bath in the first place, that wouldn't have been a problem. Do you have any advice on how to handle this situation? Yes, cuss her bitch ass out. Tell her, but then let me tell you how this is gonna go then. Don't you ever call me again talking about make the food early. I'm gonna make the food on the schedule that I have set. I don't give a fuck if you get off early or come home early. You just gonna wait. That's how we gonna do this then. Since you so bothered about cleaning out the tub that your bitch ass could have bent over there and cleaned out, and we could have had a nice evening. But no, you just want to start a bunch of shit. You'd rather do that. Please. That's how you got to talk to people like that. That's the first time in your life that you forgot to clean out the tub, and I understand the circumstances. You got distracted. She said, "Oh, start the food early because I'm on my way." And you're like, "Oh shit, let me hurry up and start the food." And you tore out the bathroom and you started the food. That's why you're gonna put it back on her. It's like, yeah, well, you're not gonna call me no more talking about start the food early. I'm gonna have a set schedule, and that's the schedule I'm gonna cook. And you don't like it to stop at McDonald's, bitch, and don't worry about it. Shit. You know what I mean? You trying to do a favor for her, and this is the thanks you get? I never cook to that bitch again. I tell you that. Say, yeah, I'm gonna serve you some food. It's gonna be in the bathtub. Go in there and get it. I can't stand ungrateful wretches. Question number 11. Should I get my new girlfriend's input before getting a vasectomy? I'm 39 and I have a vasectomy scheduled for next month, and I was wondering if I should gotten my girlfriend, she's 34, input before scheduling it. We've been together for about a month. We talked about kids, and now I don't want them. And she's not planning on any kids either. But seeing as a vasectomy is permanent, I feel like maybe that is more than a just me decision. At the same time, had I gotten the procedure a month ago, it would have been before I even met her. So maybe no. What are your thoughts? Before I even asked her to drive me to and from the procedure, help me with my post-op, I figured I'd get some input from internet strangers about how to approach this. Let me tell you something. You've been with the bitch for a month. She don't have no say and no input in nothing that you do to your body. So as far as the post-op and what all that other stuff over there, you don't really need any help. What are you talking about? It's not like it's gonna be your leg or something. You got 2 arms and 2 legs. You don't need her to do nothing. So you get yourself a cab or Uber or Lyft or something to take you there, and you arrange for them to come and pick you up and take you back home. And then you make sure that the day or two before you put everything in the house that you're gonna need, any snacks, any whatever you need, put it in the house, and then you just do it. Do it that way. And then when she comes, when she says, "Oh, what happened?" You say, "I got a vasectomy today." What? What? Well, you didn't want no kids, and neither did I. So what's the problem? I know I don't want no. Whether I'm with you or anybody else, I'm not having no kids. So your input does not matter. You see what I'm going with this, sir? You already made a decision for you. That's your life. So whatever she random woman that you happen to be seeing for the last few weeks is irrelevant in the long term scheme of your life. You gonna change her? I mean, she's been around for a month, 2 months from now, you might be like, I forgot her name. Don't worry about her. I'm like, these people be giving these random people that they just meet way too much power. Okay, this is our last question. Oh, it looks long too. This is our last question. Let me have a swig. Yeah, people be having all kind of bathroom drama. It's Debsterism. Cash app is Debsterism. Oh yeah, my final comment, Goddess T. Make sure you look at the videos. I mean, whatever it is that you want to know about, I'm sure there's already at least one video on that topic on the channel already. Some of them I've started like going in and expanding issues, and a couple of things have come up, like this thing I'm gonna be making this weekend, probably Saturday, about broads. Everybody talking about they uncomfortable white people. Y'all need to quit that out. You uncomfortable about every damn thing. I'm going to have some harsh words for you, but it's something that you need to hear, especially you women. Your ass is not going to be uncomfortable no more after you hear what I have to say, because that is some ridiculous shit right there. Let me see. Let me put my. Oh, that's my Cash App. That's the name of this channel. That's the website that you can go to if you want to submit a letter for What the Fuck Tuesday. It's Debsterism.com. So that's my thing, Debsterism. Okay. So the last letter of tonight for our call in or write in on the spot advice show. Yes, Sliver girl. I don't know if I should do a live or if I should do I'll probably do an upload so that it makes me like be more concise, because when I do lives I tend to feed off of you guys and start going down tangents and rivers and be over yonder and hill and dale on different stuff, and I want to stay focused and talk about just that, so I'll probably just do it as an upload. So let's see. That's last question is, am I wrong for asking my partner to sell an object so we can afford a house? I'm 27 and my boyfriend is 29, and we're looking to buy a house. Here is the situation. I have a full-time career and I'm about to get a master's degree in my field of work. I am well paid and have around $30,000 put aside so that I can buy a home. My partner is a student. He received a disability and works part-time, 10 hours a week. He should be able to work in his field in 3 years, maybe 4. I'll be the one paying for the majority of the mortgage. Where we will be, houses are around 400,000. Now, here's the problem. My boyfriend likes expensive things and has expensive hobbies: musical instruments, photography gear, a fancy car, thousands of dollars worth of fragrances, and watches. Recently, I suggested he sell his $15,000 watch that he bought for himself 2 years ago. I personally don't own anything expensive apart from my car, which is worth maybe $8,000. My opinion is that it's not the right time to own a luxury item like that. From my point of view, it's something that you get once you're successful and can actually afford it. He can buy one in 20 years if he wants. His opinion is that he is emotionally attached to the watch. He doesn't want to sell it because it has emotional value for him and wants to give it to our future kid when he is old. Now, am I in the wrong for expecting him to consider selling his watch so we can afford the house? Since he doesn't want to do it, which I don't want to force him to, should I consider it a red flag? He keeps saying he really wants a house together, he wants a family. When it's time to act on it, he's not willing to sacrifice an object. Well, I mean, you have no right to tell him what to do with his property. Let's just start there. And he says he wants a house, but I mean, is anything that he's doing showing you that? He just mouthing off because he knows that's the way he gets ease up in the house that you buy. So what you need to do is say, look, I'm going to buy a house in my name and you can't live there. You know why you can't live there? Because you wouldn't have put any money into it. I mean, you really don't want him to, but I'm just telling you, this is what you're going to do. You want the house to be just yours. You don't want to buy a house with somebody you're not married to. That's a fool move. Okay, I can't believe that there's women still writing me as many times as I said, don't do that, and y'all still trying to do it. You got 30 grand in the bank, buy your own house. Okay, get you a little bungalow. You don't need nothing fancy. Get you a house, and then you just, it's going to be your house, and he tell me he can't live there. And then he's gonna be like, "Why? No, no, no. You go and you figure out how you where you gonna live with all your photography equipment, and all your other stuff, and your $15,000 watch. I'm sure you can find some place to live, but you're not gonna be living with me. We can still date, but you're not gonna be living with me. That's just the way it is. But personally, I wouldn't even want to date him because he'd sound like a fool. He sounds like somebody. Once he gets in the house, you're gonna be expecting him to pay a certain amount of bills and stuff, and he's not gonna be able to do it because he got to buy more, of his trinkets. And then he needs a whole room just for his trinkets. So the fact that you only got to buy a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom place is not going to be big enough for him. Where am I going to put all my stuff? So I'm just saying the problem that you have is one. I mean, he's showing you who he is right now. Pay attention. He's not about a partnership with you. He's not about, you guys joining forces and building this home ownership thing together. He's not trying to do all that. You better pay attention. Okay, so who is this? Yes,
Hey
we.
Deb, how you doing?
I'm fine. Who is this?
Um, my name is Mo.
Oh, hey Mo.
Hey, big, really big fan of yours. Been listening to you for decades. Miss
Really?
Heartbeat dates,
Oh,
days.
dang. Yeah, you
um,
pulled it out. You in the Wayback Machine. I'm like, oh no.
I appreciate all that you do. This is actually like my first time ever doing something like this, calling in. So a tad bit nervous, but I just wanted to
Take a
get
deep.
your
It's just me. Just me.
I wanted to get your opinion on something. I've taken a lot of your advice over the years with dating. You really have helped me a lot. This concern is really with a relative, which would be my father. I recently purchased a brand new home, and
Get it, girl.
thank you. My dad is a licensed home inspector in the state that I live, and I asked him if he could do my home inspection for me. And I don't know, it was just some issues around that. Well, I'll see if I have time and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, wow, like I'm your daughter. Like you should be happy that, I'm purchasing a home and, shouldn't be a problem for you to want to do it. Long story short, he ended up coming out to do the home inspection. I live a little outside of the city, not really that far, but it took him about 20 minutes or so. Well, it was 20 miles from where he lived. And the first thing when he came to do an inspection, he was like, "Oh wow, 20 miles on the GPS." And I kind of just looked at him, and then I was like, "Where's your ladder and your items and stuff?" Because he walked into the home with no material. He just had a camera in his hand, and he was like, "Oh, well, my back was hurting and my neck, so I didn't bring the ladder." So I'm like, okay, to myself. So I'm like, this is real weird. There's a lot of weird energy. So long story short, he does the inspection. It wasn't a thorough inspection. Um, I had to ask him for the report because, of course, the builders needed the report to make any
Right.
repairs, and it took. I had to call him. It took like a week to get the report. And when he sent me the report, it was like on a Microsoft document. It wasn't on the professional paperwork because I've seen his inspections. He's been a home inspector for about 20 years. I've seen the reports in the past. It was just on a blank piece of Microsoft document that a 5-year-old could have came up with. It said his name on there, the name of the business. It was no license number, nothing. And it just said my name and my address. And then he attached 4 pictures that he took with little small descriptions. I didn't even turn the report in because first I didn't want to embarrass him. You're a licensed home inspector. I don't even want to put your name out there with this crap you sent me. And, I just told him thank you. And I just left it like that. And of course, I expressed it to my family, and everyone was saying, well, you need to say something. And I just chose not to say something. I should have spoke up, but I didn't say anything because I felt like you knew what you were doing.
He did it on
You,
purpose.
yeah. So my thing is, how would you? I'm at this point where it's like, just bye, get out of my life. And it's been other issues over the years with him where I feel like it's some jealousy. A lot of how you explain when you talk about the certain men on your platform, how they can be. He fits the stereotype. He didn't. He womanized for many years and lived off women. Now he's in his older age and. Just he's reaping what he sowed and what he has sold. And I don't know, I'm just over it. I'm over it, like the mistreatment, and this was kind of like the final straw, the biggest purchase thus far of my life. And you had an opportunity to do right by me and you chose to not do it. But you go out of your way for other people. I've heard you over the years, oh yeah, I did a home inspection for so and so, and the home wasn't up to standard. So I just told them, don't even worry about paying me for it. You do right by others, but not your own daughter. So I just guess I wanted your opinion and the squad's opinion.
My opinion is I hope you got somebody who was a real inspector to do the inspection. Um, that's very, I mean, what if you got stuck with something that, was a problem and, you were depending on him to uncover it and he didn't, so that you would be in a position where you buying a house with some problems that might not show up for a year or 2 or 5, but he's fully aware of it. It's like he's setting you up. You see what I mean? So it's like I
Yes.
would have immediately went out and got me somebody else to inspect my house. I wouldn't care how much it costs. I'm not going to bank my future and my biggest investment of my life on you. I'm not going to do that.
Hmm.
So that's the first thing I would have done. Now that's to protect yourself and your investment because that's a huge investment. The
Yes.
second thing, um, you're right to just let that go because it's wasted energy. It's wasted energy, Mo. He already knows what he did. He already knows that he did it on purpose. He knows that he did it on purpose. So to come back and talk about it is just, it's like he's trying to make you jump through a hoop where he can like, get your goat and see. Remember my video controlling your emotions? You did good to just let it go. So watch that video and get your refresher course because it sounds like you're gonna need it. Because I don't think this is gonna be the end for him. I think he's gonna come back with something else. And the main thing I'm concerned about is you're gonna be living in your house by yourself, right? Are you single?
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna be living by yourself. You have how many rooms?
A 2 bedroom.
So he gonna try to figure out some kind of way to get up in your house. Watch.
Hmm.
I'm not saying that you're gonna do it. I'm telling you, he's gonna try to figure out some kind of way to make it happen. So be prepared for that as well. So you can start practicing your no, no, hell to the no. What you think I look like, nigga? No. These kind of things. You gotta start so it rolls off your tongue and you don't have no struggle with it. And the other thing is, this is very unfortunate, but I think you're right. You've reached the point where you're a fully fledged adult living on your own. You got your own stuff working. You don't need him for anything. And I've always tell people, blood is an accident. We don't get to choose the people that we related to. We have no choice in that matter. It's just the hand that we're dealt. But you know what? If you ever played poker,
I haven't.
girl, it's a wonderful game to learn for women because there's so many plays in poker that apply to dating and life. That to me was like one of the best things I could have ever learned. There's bluffing, which is, when you just pretend some shit is going on that's really not, but it's a play game, you playing somebody basically. But you, as a woman, if you have to learn how to read what's called tells in poker, it's called tells. You can tell when somebody's lying or just they bluffing because their lip twitches, their eye be doing something weird, or they get their lip, they doing, something, they're doing something some kind of way that you can tell. Their eyes look different, something. That's when you watch those poker games, they wear sunglasses because they want people to be able to tell what their eyes are doing. But basically, what you would be doing is when you have a bad hand in poker and you don't want to play because if you play, you're going to lose money, you fold. And that means you put your cards down on the table and you don't play no more in that game. That's what you're about to do with your daddy. I think I'm folding my hand with you, sir. We
Yes.
shall not be in this game any longer. So, I know there's going to be a grieving period. It's your daddy. This is just reality. No matter how much he deserves it, you still have to go through the grieving period of letting him go. So give yourself that grace. Don't beat yourself up because it's going to be, you're going to go through some emotional upheaval that you made this decision. But from my perspective, it is the smartest decision that you could make. Girl, don't look back. Keep moving forward. You got your house. Just keep it moving. Keep it going. Just go forward and don't let nobody stop you. And I want to applaud you because
Thank
that
you.
is not an easy thing to do. Good job.
Thank you, Miss Deb. Thank you. That was, I kind of just needed that confirmation. I was like, I don't think I'm tripping, but I'm like, I'm gonna call in and I'm gonna ask, get
No,
your
that was good.
opinion.
I'm glad you did because you did sound a lot more nervous when you first started talking, but now I can see you getting your mojo back.
And I'm a little under the weather too, so excuse my voice.
Oh, no problem. No
But great.
problem. I'm
Thank you,
glad
Miss
you called
Deb.
in. You're
Yes,
welcome,
I
sweetie.
appreciate you. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, yeah. See, she on the fast track. She's doing big things. So she don't need that knucklehead dragging her down and sending her Word documents. That nigga. I mean, it's so stupid. It's funny. It's so juvenile, for him to be a grown man to be acting like that. My goodness. My goodness. Okay, so anyway, um, yeah, that's it. Okay, that's it for this show. We will be back. If you were shy and you didn't get your question asked, you get a chance. You can either send it in to What the Fuck Tuesday and hope that Pandas picked your letter, or you can wait until the third Thursday of next month and then come with your little $10, and then you can get your question answered right here on the air. Okay. Yes, thank you to everyone who asked a question. I'm always happy to help. And this helps, generate a little revenue for the channel because most of our What the Fuck Tuesday thing, I mean, unless you guys make a donation, because the mouth is just awful. I just have to admit the mouth is awful. And so, they're like, no, you're not going to run any ads, chick. So I'm like, okay, oh, what am I going to do? But I have to just be myself. I can't deal with people's questions and the stuff that they be presenting and act all nice to them about it and be like, all holding their hand and calling them and stuff. No, I'm about to rip you a new ass because that's what you deserve. Over here acting stupid. But Google punishes me for that. So I always appreciate your donation. $5, I don't care how much it is. It's always welcome, and I always appreciate the thoughtfulness that you guys can show me. Donating to my hen fund and stuff. It's all good. So I will see you guys real soon. Look for a video upload this weekend. I'm going to try to do it Saturday and upload it Saturday night or Sunday, depending on how much editing I have to do. Because sometimes, I be stuttering and have to start over and it just be about bad. But I have a lot to say about this uncomfortable thing. That's just not working for me at all. So y'all enjoy your evening and I'll see you later.